When I was a kid, I used to hate needles, and I remember screaming and crying when my mom and dad would take me to get my flu vaccine, and I'm sure a lot of people had very similar experiences. Well, just like humans do, animals need vaccines too. So, that is what I'm here to talk about today, are vaccines for our animals. And just like humans, we need to know why we give them vaccines. Many serious diseases can be prevented by vaccines, and even though some people only have indoor animals, these diseases can still reach them at home as well. And vaccines are a very inexpensive way to prevent premature death, and along with that, more expensive procedures farther down the line. Now that we've gone over the basics of why we want to vaccinate our animals, some people might ask, well, what are some basic vaccines that you would give every day as a veterinary technician in a clinic? And to answer that question, a lot of the basic vaccines that you would see in a clinic for dogs, for example, would be rabies, distemper, Lyme, lepto, and then on the other hand, you have feline distemper for cats and feline leukemia for cats. And the feline distemper will vaccinate your cats for rabies as well. Something very cool that I found out while working at a veterinary clinic is that actually some of these vaccines can be given together and administered at the same time in one syringe. Some of those may be lepto and Lyme. Lepto and Lyme is a very big one that I see administered a lot together in one vial drawn up into one syringe and given in one poke. Since there are several different vaccinations, I'm going to be covering only one in this video, and the one I'm going to be covering today is going to be canine distemper. Usually, distemper is composed of multiple vaccinations in one, almost like lepto and Lyme, except distemper will vaccinate your animal for not only just distemper in canines, but also hepatitis, parvovirus, and also coronavirus. Usually we will start puppies on distemper around 7 to 10 weeks. They will then come back around 11 to 13 weeks, and then they will get their last one at 14 to 16 weeks before moving to an annual distemper vaccine. So now that we've talked about the actual vaccine itself and when it will be administered, let's talk about the viruses that we are vaccinating for. The viruses are distemper, hepatitis, parvo, and coronavirus. These diseases are widely spread and contagious and very deadly if not vaccinated against. Canine distemper, which starts out very similar to a common cold in humans, would start out as a fever, a runny nose, cough, and vomiting, and later on down the line, if not vaccinated for, will start to develop into muscle twitching and seizures. Then, moving down the line, we have canine hepatitis, which will start out again with a fever, but can quickly move to diarrhea, excessive thirst, loss of appetite, and possible discharge from the eyes and nose. Later on, it can lead to respiratory distress as well as abdominal pain. And lastly, the last two, parvo and coronavirus, which are both very big ones and probably the two most biggest ones in this vaccination, they are both intestinal infections, which will result in bloody diarrhea, vomiting, fever, depression, and dehydration. Both of these diseases are highly contagious and often fatal, and transmitted through contact with feces and urine of an infected dog, or objects carrying the virus, such as shoes that have come into contact with infested feces or urine. So, therefore, vaccination is always the best prevention for these diseases. And as I mentioned at the beginning, if you have an indoor pet, they can always still contract a disease no matter what you think could or couldn't happen to them. Always be aware that your animal can get a virus, can get a disease, because humans contract diseases into our own houses. Now that we've gone over distemper, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope you guys did take a second and hopefully learn something. And I was very glad to be able to come back and teach you guys, and I hope to see you guys again in the future. Next time we'll be going over more vaccines, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace.